XRP, the digital asset created by Ripple Labs, is seen by some as potentially important to the global financial system. It can facilitate cross-border payments quickly and cheaply. It allows financial institutions to access liquidity on demand, and it does all of this while using significantly less energy than Bitcoin. But exactly how big of a deal is XRP, and how could it change the world? Well, that's what we're here to explain. So let's get right into it. The reason why XRP might become important to the world is because it solves some of the major problems that exist today with international payments and banking. And there are 7 major reasons why it might do just that. Reason now. 1. Cross-border payments. So first off, let's talk about making payments across borders. Today, sending money from one country to another can be a bit of a headache. Let's say you want to send money from the United States to Japan. You would typically work with your bank to initiate an international wire transfer. Your bank will then send a request to a bank in Japan to credit your recipient's account with the equivalent value in Japanese yen. Now this process can take anywhere from a few hours to a couple of days and involves multiple intermediaries such as correspondent banks. These intermediaries add friction and increase the cost of the transaction. That's where XRP comes in. It can act as a bridge currency. When using XRP, the sender's bank in the US will first convert dollars to XRP, and then a Japanese bank will convert XRP back to Japanese yen. This way you can go directly from US dollars to Japanese yen using XRP as a middleman, without needing pre-funded accounts in every country you want to transact with. Not only does this make things easier, but it also saves time and money. This is because you don't have to worry about currency conversions or settlement delays when using XRP. This means that you can send money instantly from anywhere in the world to anywhere else in the world for a very low fee. Reason now. 2. Liquidity provider for banks and institutions. As we mentioned before, XRP can be used as a bridge currency to facilitate fast and cheap international payments. But it can also act as a liquidity provider for banks and other financial institutions. With XRP's on-demand liquidity or ODL service, financial institutions can source liquidity in real time without having to hold large amounts of foreign currency in advance. This means that banks don't need to maintain expensive accounts in every country they operate in, which reduces their capital requirements and improves their cash flow. This is a game changer for banks, especially those in regions with limited access to foreign currency or fluctuating exchange rates. By using XRP, they can avoid the costs associated with holding and managing large amounts of foreign currency reserves while still offering their customers the ability to transact in multiple currencies. Reason now. 3. Speed and scalability. Let's talk about speed and scalability. XRP can handle up to 1,500 transactions per second with settlement times of 3 to 5 seconds. That's much faster than Bitcoin or Ethereum, which can take minutes to settle a transaction. This makes XRP a great option for high-frequency financial systems, especially in regions with unreliable banking infrastructure. For example, if you're in a country where bank transfers can take days to clear, you could use XRP to make a payment that settles in just a few seconds. This can be a lifesaver for people who need to make time-sensitive payments, such as for medical expenses or emergency purchases. Additionally, XRP's speed and scalability make it ideal for use cases that involve multiple parties such as cross-border trade finance or supply chain management. By using XRP, businesses can automate their payment processes and reduce the risk of delays or errors. Reason now. 4. Low transaction fees. We all hate fees, don't we? Whether it's a late payment fee, an overdraft fee, or an international transfer fee, they just eat into our hard-earned money. And let's face it, who wants to pay more for something they already have to pay for? Well, XRP offers a solution to this problem with its incredibly low transaction fees. Fees are a fraction of a cent, which makes it ideal for microtransactions or remittances. This means that people who send money regularly for things like groceries, subscriptions, or rent won't have to worry about getting hit with a hefty fee. It also means that small businesses can make international payments without breaking the bank. But the benefits don't stop there. XRP's low transaction fees also make it ideal for the underbanked population, who often rely on expensive money transmitters to send money. By using XRP, these individuals can save money and have more control over their finances. Reason now. 5. Energy efficiency. Now let's talk about energy efficiency. As we all know, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that use the proof of work consensus mechanism consume a lot of energy. However, XRP uses a more eco-friendly consensus mechanism called the unique node list. This means that XRP doesn't rely on mining, which is the process of using computers to solve complex math problems and verify transactions. Instead, XRP uses a centralized network of validators who agree on the validity of transactions. This results in much lower energy consumption, making XRP a much more sustainable option than Bitcoin. This is important in today's world where sustainability is becoming increasingly important. By using XRP, we can reduce the carbon footprint of our financial systems and protect the environment for future generations. Reason now. 6. Integration with central banks. Central banks are starting to experiment with CBDCs, which are digital currencies issued and regulated by a central bank. And guess what? XRP could play a role in this new technology. Why, you ask? Well, because XRP can integrate with CBDCs to allow them to interact internationally. This means that countries won't have to develop their own infrastructure for cross-border payments. Instead, they can leverage XRP's existing infrastructure, which is already fast, secure, and scalable. This would make it easier for central banks to adopt CBDCs and offer them to their citizens. Plus, it would save them the time and expense of developing their own infrastructure. And let's not forget that many central banks are already exploring the idea of CBDCs. The International Monetary Fund estimates that 144 countries are researching CBDCs, with 11% of them planning to launch one in the near future. This means that XRP's integration with CBDCs could lead to widespread adoption of the digital asset. Reason now. 7. Regulatory progress. We all love to see progress, don't we? Whether it's personal growth, professional achievement, or societal advancement. We're always rooting for it. And when it comes to XRP, there's been some major progress on the regulatory front. Now, you might remember that Ripple, the company behind XRP, faced a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which claimed that XRP was an unregistered security. This lawsuit created some uncertainty in the crypto space and put a damper on XRP's growth. However, in July 2023, the SEC and Ripple agreed to suspend the case after a federal judge suggested they settle their differences. This development is a huge step forward for XRP because it provides much needed clarity on how the SEC views digital assets. If the SEC and Ripple eventually settle in a way that clarifies these issues, it could pave the way for other crypto assets to be treated more fairly and predictably by regulators. This could lead to wider adoption of digital assets and greater innovation in the crypto space. So keep your eyes peeled for updates on this exciting development. Now, despite all these amazing reasons why XRP could become important to the world, there are some key caveats that we need to talk about. 1. Adoption of XRP depends on regulatory clarity. 2. Banks and other financial institutions need to participate in order for XRP to be widely used. 3. Market trust and confidence in XRP is crucial for its success. 4. XRP must compete with other blockchain technologies. And 5. Global payment systems like SWIFT, Stellar, XLM, and future CBDCs. In a nutshell, XRP could become important to the world because it offers a fast, cheap, and interoperable way to move money around globally. It can facilitate cross-border payments, provide on-demand liquidity for banks, enable high-speed transactions, reduce fees, save energy, integrate with central bank digital currencies, and progress in terms of regulatory approval. While there are some challenges that lie ahead for XRP, its potential benefits are too great to ignore. As the world becomes increasingly digital and interconnected, XRP could play a major role in shaping the future of global finance and payments. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think XRP will become important to the world? And if so, what do you think it will be used for? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.